Hello friends, I want to use these 4 horses to explain to you and show to you the 4 different categories of behavior that we have. We have 2 sides, emotional and creative, and then we have an extroverted behavior and an introverted behavior. And these 4 horses are representing the 4 different categories. So let's start with category number 1. So the first category is the more emotionally based behavior, which means fear, stress, worry, unsafe, anxiety, nervousness, confusion, stuff like that. And then we have also the extroverted type of behavior, which is more forward, more high energy, more movement, and stuff like that. Difficult to stand still. So I have Brego here. He has typically in this behavior a lot of the time because he's very fearful, he's very unconfident and nervous, and then he moves. So let me just show you, and the easiest way to show it is if I'm asking him to do just a little bit and then move out there. So we're just gonna ask him, can you move out there? So I'm just gonna do something very light and easy. And then you see he just moves and he goes faster and faster, basically on his own. With everything. He's very reactive, which is a typical thing for the more emotionally based characters or categories. Even though it doesn't matter if it's extroverted or introverted, we see reactions, we see tightness, we see nervousness, and we see stuff like that. So if I do something, if I lift this one up, let's see, you see kind of a reaction, just jumping up with the head and going that way. And if I touch him, for instance, like this, you see he's just going around, he's just going away and pulling away like this. This is typical, I'm sorry Brego, but it's for the people. It's typical extroverted and emotional behavior. You can see the head up, tail up, head to the outside, ribs to the inside, getting more and more and more and more there. So that is a typical extroverted and emotionally based behavior. And when we have this, we need to deal with that behavior and not how we thought the horse should be or how we wanted the horse to be. We need to deal with the horse that shows up. So let's get on and let's get the next category. So here I have Santin, which is the other emotional category, but more introverted. And she's quite young. She is quite confident, but she still has some emotional responses because she's inexperienced as well. But introverted compared to extroverted means more standing still, lower energy, less movement, more internal than external. You saw Brego, he was more external, and she is a little bit more internal. So let me see if I just get her out there. Let's see if we can see some of the introverted and maybe emotional behavior. So one thing is, I'm gonna ask her there. Let's see if she goes out. You can see the way she trots compared to Brego, the more extroverted. She trots slower, but she still has the head kind of high. She's still a little tense. And if I do something here, you can see there's still a reaction. There's still a reaction, but it's more an introverted reaction and based more on unsurety and lacking of information. So that's more of an introverted tendency for her. And she's actually a little bit more forward than she usually is, which I like personally, but her tendency is to lock up. Like just stand there and freeze and lock up and go against the pressure. And then if there's too much pressure in that moment, she'll just jump forward. So let's see if I can show you a little bit of that. She is quite good now, which I like. So this is nice. I'm really liking that she's not being too emotional here, but still her tendency is to be introverted, go more internal and worry about stuff and locking up, where we see Brego, he doesn't lock up, he goes away, he escapes, he runs away, and he does a more external kind of behavior. So this is the introverted and more emotionally based behavior. but emotionally because she's more young and inexperienced, and that's why confusion comes in and sets in. It's not fear and it's not lack of confidence, it's just emotional because she doesn't know. She's unsure, she's confused, and then she locks up. So let's get on with the next category. So now I'm here with Ville, and Ville has a very typical behavior. He's more extroverted and he's very creative, and that's the third category here. So we already explained the extroverted. It's more active, more forward, higher energy, and harder to stop, but easier to go. But then we add the creative behavior, which is like an active mind. They're trying to do stuff. They are always thinking about stuff, and it's always forward based. And this is where we have horses that like to chew on stuff, that likes to pick up stuff. You can see the rope here. Right here, he has been chewing on this. Right now, it's actually amazing that he's not chewing on me and chewing on the rope. So he's on his good behavior today. But he's very creative and curious about everything. And let's see if when I make him go out there, and let's see what he does and how he shows the creativity and how he shows the behavior. So you can see he's very confident. He's not really wanting to go forward. But let's see if I add some here. You can see there's a little bit of attitude there. And it was not difficult to get him to go forward. And he moves quite freely forward. But let's see if I take this one up here. So now there's a little bit. Let's go the other way. And there he pulls a little bit. Has his own kind of mind. These are typical if we look at the kind of negative based behavior of the extrovert, and we see the egotistic horse here. We see the ones that, no, I'd rather do something else. This is more fun. This is not fun what you're doing. And then they kind of go and do their own little thing. Like this, that's good. Let's do it. So there we see, right there, typical extroverted behavior. You can see, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. That's very typical extroverted and creative behaviors, like forward, forward, forward. I don't want to. I don't want to. Whew. Got me moving there as well. So that is Ville. That is the typical extroverted and very creative behavior. And I provoked it kind of on purpose for you to see. This is not how I wanted to train and be with him, but I wanted you to see the typical behavior. So this is Ville. That was category number 3, extroverted and very creative and a bit egotistical as well. So let's go on to the last category. So now I'm here with Dusty, and it's the last category of behavior. The more introverted, the creative part. So when we have creativity and introversion combined together, we have more a mental based horse that's thinking about stuff, that's kind of very comfortable on the bordering of lazy and unwilling in that part. So introversion means no activity or low activity, just like he's showing here. It's very relaxed on the border of being too relaxed. So he's lazy, and it's slow and it's low intensity when he's doing stuff. So comfort is a big thing with these kind of horses, where, as you saw with Ville, play and activity is a bigger thing with that kind of horse. So let's get on with it, and then let's show you a typical introverted and creative behavior. So here, comfortable is what he's going for. Food is a big thing with these kind of horses. And when they can't get food, they like scratches like this. So you can see here, I'm asking him to back up. I'm asking him to go out on a circle. And asking him, so he's barely going. So I'm asking him, oh, do I have to? I'm asking him to put effort in. And he's like, oh, boring, boring. So you can see the intensity in what he is doing compared to Ville, for instance. They're both creative, but he's way more introverted, so he's barely trotting. This is the trot he has when he's not really trotting. And he's even farting at me, like, this is how much this means to him. So let's Get going, my friend. And move, and move. And like the lightning, he's out there and he's gone. They actually cast him for the movie Flash that just came out, but he was too fast for the movie, so they had to go with a slower human instead of this guy. So this is very typical for a confident, creative, but very introverted horse to have this kind of intensity and movement going. And let's see if he is very motivated at stopping and standing still. So let's see, I'll just do this. Yeah, he was very motivated. Oh, finally the work is done. Finally I can come in and maybe eat or get an ear scratch or something like that. Finally he understands this guy with the hat trying to get me do stuff. So those were the 4 categories of behavior. We have extroverted and emotionally. You saw Brego going out there, reacting to basically everything and just moving faster and faster and faster and stressing more and more and more. Then we saw Santin with the more introverted behavior, not that much movement, but based on confusion and uncertainty, not knowing what it was. And then we had Ville with his egotistical, narcissistical, playful nature. He says, I want this, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. And then he did it in an extroverted way. It was up, it was forward, it was away, it was expressive. And then we have this guy, the slow guy, the donkey, the not wanting to do anything kind of guy, but very confident, very like, oh, it's nice, it's comfortable, and all that stuff, but not really wanting to move. And that's the creative and introverted behavior. So hopefully this was very helpful for you. If you want more in-depth knowledge about horse psychology, horses' behavior and different kind of stuff, then I suggest that you actually go into my website, I put a link down there, and buy my book where I go into depth of all things horse psychology, horse behavior, and how to create a true natural partnership based on communication and cooperation and horse psychology. So other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day and make a difference.